Hello, friends. Today we shall discuss interview body language do's and don'ts. Regarding body languages, what we should do and what we should not do, or what we must not do. So, today we shall discuss interview body language do's and don'ts. Stay with me and we shall discuss interview body language do's and don'ts. Friends, let us first read the slide and then we shall discuss. Looking at today's interview culture, we should keep updating a lot of things in yourselves. We must pay great attention to our way of talking, looking, and walking, and how other people's feedback in ourselves. Over time, we should keep on changing ourselves in our behavior, reaction, and always keep upgrade ourselves. Your behavior always matters a lot everywhere, whether it is interview place or any professional work and your daily living life. In logically, we should see then our body languages are the one most important activity that carries or express every word with the expression. Everyone should aware about its body language is the only part of our day-to-day life activity. Could be you are quiet, your body language talks more, and the people in front of you will easy to get understand what happens inside your activity. If you are going for an interview for any organization, you should know do's and don'ts of body language in the workplace. And you should take care of all these things. Let's discuss about it. Now, in this growing environment where things are changing every day, body language is the most important thing we should remember in our interview whenever we go for an interview. So that would mean we should be utmost careful about our body language because you might be quiet, but your body language tells a lot to the interviewer. So today, in this chapter, we shall discuss a lot about body languages. So, how to deal with your body language and how to ensure that what you want to communicate, your body language is also communicating the same thing. Stay with me and we shall discuss about body language. Do's about the body language. Both positive and negative body language for interviews plays an important role in the interview where you are a candidate. Here we have written some points of do's for avoiding common body language mistakes. Now, what we need to do in terms of body language, we will discuss in the subsequent slides. While we go for an interview, body language plays the most vital element in the interview process, and it helps you either cracking the interview or, I'm afraid, but getting rejected in the interview. So we shall discuss about do's about the body language. Always sit comfortably with good posture. You should be eye-to-eye contact during the interview. You should be walk confidently. Let's deal with them individually. Always sit comfortably with good posture. Whenever you go for an interview, you should always sit comfortably and fit in front of an employer. If you people will keep yourself in relaxation, then it would give you more confidence in your answer. Always, you should keep your postures better in the interview room, but you should not try to feel more comfortable. Always sit comfortably with a good posture. Always remember this. Don't don't go in for very rigid postures. That is what we call. Sit comfortably and make yourself comfortable in the seat, in the sofa, or in the chair which has been offered to you. Sit comfortably with back straight and normal. Be as normal, but be formal. Always remember this. Be formal and as if you're talking to somebody, as if you're discussing with somebody. So sit comfortably. That's the primary thing. You are not a robot. Always remember this. So you have to sit comfortably and in a good posture. Eye to eye contact during the interview. It is a very important part of the interview. You should make better eye contact after sitting in between the interview process round because it would increase your more chances for the selection during the interview. If you would give an answer along with your eye contact with the employer, then they will feel you're more confident in your answer, have a focus only in the interview. With the help of these, you could show your interest in work and look excited. While you're giving an interview, always try to maintain an eye contact. Once you maintain an eye contact, this gives the impression to the employer or the interviewer that you're confident and whatever you are saying is the truth. You should you should walk confidently. When you will enter, the way you walk for an interview in the interview cabin, that time employer could get an easy idea about you, like you are suitable for the desired profile or not. While walking, your spine should be straight and your body parts should match with your body posture. And you should not walk crossway. If you will be straight in your walk style, then it would give a positive impression towards the employer. People will also feel at the time of the interview more confident. Let's deal with this. So while we are talking about this, your walk while you are getting inside the interview room, or while you are, talking or this interview, many a times you've seen that the interviews are something like the walk the talk. While walking, always remember your spine, your back should be straight. Always remember this. There's nothing as hunchback. So your back has to be straight. It's a mandatory point. Your back has to be straight, and this will give you a correct alignment of your body. And this would show your confidence. And this confidence will give you great benefits. Be with me in the next slide. You should always stay with confidence. Say no where it is required. You should offer a strong handshake. At the time, interview cabin, when you will stay and give the answer to the confident way, at that time, every interviewer starts doing great as per your interview process round. Always, you should show your confidence level with the help of a way of walking or talking, the way you look and the way you speak and the way you will enter and sit in the interview cabin in front of the interviewer. If you are more focusing on these all things during an interview, then it would give an impression towards the interview or the interviewer. So you should always stay with confidence, whatever you're doing in the interview cabin, interview room, or the walk the talk kind of interview if you're facing. What is most important is your confidence. Be confident in your walk, be confident in your posture, and be confident the way you look at the interviewer. Say no where it is required. Very, very important. Wherever it is required, you have to say no. Let's read that. Read this. You should attend your working, or you should attend your wording before answering any questions asked by the interviewer. Majorly, we have seen at the time of interview, we always say yes whenever an interview or interviewer asks about to do their work responsibility. If we will say, then it will somewhere impact in your listening skills. Every time saying yes, words indicate that you are just saying yes for the job only. Your skill of listening do's and don'ts for avoiding common body language mistakes is also a very important part of your behavior in the organization. At the time of the interview, always say yes on honesty where it is required, because it because if you will try to give false information, then your body somewhere does the activity and the interviewer easily gets to identify you. So whatever you are saying, if the answer is supposed to be no or afraid, I don't agree with that. That is the way of uh, that is the way of expressing your non-acceptance to whatever the interviewer is saying. Always remember that whenever you're going for an interview, it's not necessary you have to say yes to everything. It looks very, I would say. It looks as if just for the job you are saying yes. It's not what is required. And as an interviewer, if we talk, we don't appreciate that either. So if required, you can simply say that no, I don't agree with that, sir. I don't agree with that, ma'am. Or you can be very formal and say that I'm afraid I beg to differ on this point. That's the most professional way of talking. You should offer a strong handshake. It is also very important to show your positive body language with the help of doing a handshake with the employer. If your handshake way is not to fit or it is not in a good way, then employer easy to understand. You are not confident with the way you shake your hands. Having a good confidence level always makes a good impression at the time of the interview. Always remember this whenever you're going for a handshake, whenever the interviewer, and don't always be the first person to extend your hand, because obviously remember that whenever you're going for an interview, let the interviewer extend his or her hand for the handshake. You should not be the first person. If you want to greet the interviewer, say a simple good morning, good afternoon, whatever the time is. But as far as the handshake is concerned, or the component of handshake is concerned, always wait for the interviewer to extend his or her hand. Go for a firm handshake. I'm not telling you to crush the interviewer's hands. Please don't do that. So it's a confident handshake. That is what is required. And finally, this confident handshake will help you go miles in the job that you are looking for. Don'ts about the body language. We have done do's. Now we'll be doing don'ts. Following are the don'ts for avoiding the mistakes in body language, which will help you in the interview. We'll do the don'ts now. Don't be very much aggressive. Don't use a harsh tone. Don't try to ignore the answer. We'll quickly have a read and then we shall discuss. Don't be very much aggressive at the time of the interview. Interviewer always judge you on the basis of behavioral activity. Here, you should not try to speak in high volume at the place of the interview. If you would be more aggressive in your answer, then you could be not in the next round of the interviews. Whatever the question will ask by the employer side, only you should try to give the answer. Don't be aggressive while you're giving an answer. Always remember this. Don't ever try to lose your patience. Don't be aggressive. Yes, in some point of time, yes, if need be, we can be assertive, but never ever be aggressive. That would mean you should never ever raise your voice. You should never ever raise your voice. And in the next point, never use harsh tone. If you will keep the sweetness in your voice, then it will help you to crack any kind of interview. Employers always ask pressure or stress kind of questions at the time of interview where your voice would go some harsh tone, and according to that, your body language also starts to react. And it is not a good sign for you during the interview. So you should keep your voice tone very soft and polite during the interview. Your tone should be very natural and polite. It will help you to get selected in any company. So always remember tone. It never has to be a harsh tone. I told you earlier in the last section, I told you that never raise your voice, never use a harsh tone. Keep polite, talk politely. You're here for an interview. Always remember this. And your body language, the way you speak, it tells a lot about your personality. And if you are a harsh talker, then try to mend your way, please. Don't try to ignore the answer. An interview process steps, in the interview process steps, if your people try to ignore the answer, then that time interviewer understands that you are not interested in the job. The employer is smarter while taking your interview, and they easy to find interest in the interview on the basis of your facial expression during the interview. If you are in the customer service industry, do and don'ts for body language customer service is essential, and you have to know where you have to answer the customer, where you could not ignore any customer. Always remember that whenever a question is asked, never evade the question, never ignore the question. If you do not know the answer, you simply say that I am afraid I don't know the answer, but yes, I can surely find it out. Yeah, or I will find it out. Always remember this, that whenever a question is asked, that always say that if you know the answer, be polite and tell the answer to the interviewer. But if you do not know the answer, you're not a superhuman. There are chances that you do not know the answer. It is very natural as an interviewer. If we talk, it's very natural. We don't expect the candidate to know everything. So that would mean that if you do not know an answer, you can simply say that, afraid I do not know the answer. Yeah, I understand that that's a good question. Yes, I do understand that. But afraid I don't know the answer, but surely I'll find it out. I'll try to find it out. That's how we can answer questions which we do not know, or where the answer we do not know. We can simply address the question. Always address the question. If a question is asked, or there are two, three questions which are asked, we can never ever evade any of the question. Always. Don't look over relaxed. Never tap your feet at the time of the interview. Never smile every time. Let's have a quick read and then we'll discuss. Don't look over relaxed. You should keep in mind that you are at an interview place, and to get over relaxed, the body is not good. If you will do the more relaxed during your interview time, then the employer would feel you have lots of challenges in your daily life, and due to this reason, not keep more concentration for job as well. You should do not look over relaxed during the interview. So that would mean whenever you're going for an interview, you're there for an interview, you're there for a purpose. So always remember that while giving an interview, you should never be, or you should never look over relaxed. Never tap your feet at the time of the interview. Oh God, that's a very bad habit some people have. At the time of the interview, you should keep control of your body language. It is like awkward behavior in front of an interviewer. Tapping the feet is bad manners during the interview. Keep in mind that you are going there for an interview, not to make time pass, so that your behavior should be very understanding during the interview. Always remember this whenever you're going for an interview. Some people have this very bad habit, which is completely not acceptable, is to tap their feet, move their legs. That actually shows that you're there for a time pass, but you're not serious about the job. Neither you're serious for the interview. Never ever do that. Take complete control over your body. Take complete control over your body language. Never smile every time. You're not a robot which has been functioned only to smile. Please don't do that. You should be somewhere smile, but it should not be every time during the interview. Because if you will smile, continuing it, then it would give the wrong perception to the employer, and they feel you are not serious in your career job. It would increase the chances of your rejection. You should smile when it is needed, and don't smile when it is not required or not needed. Yes, we agree that you should smile, no second thought about it. But there's a question, there's a very serious question, or there's a major question that is asked, and that requires you to be serious, and you're just smiling it away. That's something that's completely not acceptable. Smile, yes, that is required, no second thought about it. But it depends on the question that is asked. I'll give you a very simple example. Uh, for example, God forbid, there had been a mishap in the society. There were, God forbid, there had been some mishap, and there were people who were killed or who died in that mishap. And there's a question related to that, and you start smiling. That's completely not acceptable. Always remember this: the smile is your weapon. Use it for the betterment, for increasing the chances of the selection, but never ever smile all the time. You have not been programmed to smile. The smile should be dependent on the question that is put forward. This is an overview that we have done today, and for more details, we have a separate chapter on body language. So stay with us, and we shall discuss in detail about the body language. And today we have just given an overview of body language and how to control your body language while you go for an interview. Thank you so much for listening to me. Take care.